So let's look more specifically now at the Canada Learning Bond. And that's the second component of the overall Canada Education Savings Program, the first coin that went into our mayonnaise jar. The Canada Learning Bond gets education savings started even when parents can't contribute themselves. The Canada Learning Bond, or CLB, is available to families currently, the net family income of $45,282 or less. Another way of establishing income eligibility is whether or not the parents are receiving now or have ever received the National Child Benefit Supplement as part of the Canada Child Tax Credit. And the Canada Learning Bond is available to only available to children born since January 2004 or later, so 12 years old or younger. We'll go to the next slide. To get the CLB, a family must open an RESP account and apply, as we've talked about. And that's it. It's really that simple. The CLB is thought of as a kickstart contribution into the RESP. An initial $500 has $100 added each year that a child is eligible, up to $2,000, up to the child's 15th birthday. A family doesn't need to put a single dollar to receive the Canada Learning Bond. And the grant is retroactive, which means that when an eligible family applies for the CLB, their first deposit includes the initial $500 as well as $100 for each previous year the child was eligible. So for example, if an eligible family applies for the bond when their child is 5 years old and the child has always been eligible, the first deposit will actually be $1,000. We at SmartSaver believe the Canada Learning Bond is an incredible opportunity for parents to get savings started, even if they have no money of their own to contribute. And even though the Canada Learning Bond is free, you'll remember an earlier slide, there are currently 1.5 million eligible children who aren't receiving the $700+ million available for their future education. And just to put that in perspective, that's half the children in Canada aged 12 and under are eligible for the Canada Learning Bond, or at some point in their lives have been eligible. And as we said, the national take-up rate is hovering at only about a third of eligible children receiving money they're entitled to. So we'll go to the next slide. At this point, we've covered basic RESP accounts and the CLB. The federal government also offers an extra incentive to help motivate families to save in an RESP. And that's the matching grant called the Canada Education Savings Grant. That's the one most people do know about, and it adds more money to an RESP when a family contributes their own money. Everyone who starts an RESP, regardless of income, is eligible for some matching money. But the federal government provides a bigger match the lower a family's income. So for example, for every $100 that a family contributes to an RESP, the government deposits an extra $40, $30, or $20, depending on the family's income. And it doesn't matter who contributes into that RESP. If a grandparent or a friend wants to contribute into that account, into the education savings account of that child, the matching incentive is still added. Lastly, as I mentioned before, there are 3 provinces currently that have extra programs available for families to receive even more funds for their children's RESP. The BC Training and Education Savings Grant is a new provincial program that gives all BC children born in 2007 or later an additional $1,200. To access the grant, families must open an RESP and apply before the child turns 9. Now, that grant was introduced just this past August. The Saskatchewan Advantage Grant for Education Savings, or SAGES, is an extra matching grant of 10% on family contributions into an RESP, up to a maximum of $250 per child per year, and a maximum lifetime SAGES grant of $4,500 per child. And the final provincial savings incentive is the Quebec Education Savings Incentive. It also provides an extra 10% match on contributions per year for Quebec's children's RESPs.